This is Mellissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you in Lakeland for Florida gubernatorial candidate Adam Putnam's rally here. It's basically the Polk for Putnam rally to get voters riled up and ready to head to the polls for those who haven't already, because we're still in the midst of early voting. This is his third stop today on his fifth day of the Florida bus tour that he's taking. This is not his first bus tour, by the way, but this is the kind of the final push because, of course, the primary is next Tuesday. So stay tuned right here for the National News for his remarks during the rally as well as an interview thereafter. This is Mellissa Thomas coming to you from Lakeland.
I know that everybody talks about doing grassroots. Let me tell you what grassroots looks like. This week we will surpass 400,000 doors knocked in the state of Florida. That's grassroots. Phone calls, doors. I've got a sod farmer in St. Johns County. Y'all ever heard of Hastings, Florida? It's right next to Elkton. I've got a sod farmer up there who had a semi-trailer sized tarp printed with my picture and my name that says "Vote Putnam for Governor" on it. And 6 days a week it runs up and down Interstate 95 with a "Vote for Putnam" tarp on top of a load of sod. If that's not grassroots, I don't know what is. That's grassroots. And that's why we're going to win. This is what it's all about, and this is what we've been doing up and down the state in big cities and small towns alike. Bringing people together who are committed to the future of our state, who bring their children out to see someone who's asking to lead our state, who's going to make their education worth more, their streets even safer, and their economic opportunities even brighter. That's what this is all about. And so I need you to leave here. If you haven't already voted, early vote. It's on. 500,000 Republican primary voters have already cast their ballot. It's on right now. Tell all your family, even the in-laws you don't like, how important this election is, because Florida's at a crossroads and everything is at stake. This is a critically important time in our state's history. And if we want to put a brighter, better future on the horizon for our kids and our grandkids, this is the election to do it. And we have from now until next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to get it done.
Give us your thoughts on tonight's rally, and for our audience, let them know what you let me know, that how long you've known Adam Putnam.
Well, I've known Adam his entire life. I've known all of his family. He's a businessman from a business family. They grew up in citrus and cattle, and he knows Florida. And I've watched him grow in business and grow as a leader in our community, and I can tell you that's important. What's really important is to understand that he understands all of Florida. Florida's a diverse state. It comes from one of the biggest, largest, most populated areas in South Florida to some of the most rural areas in North Florida. And he knows how to be the governor for the entire state. He understands that one size doesn't fit all. He understands and loves Florida. He's a fifth-generation Floridian. But quite frankly, it's personal to me. He's a Christian man. He's a businessman. He's a hard-working man. And he understands family values. And that's what we need in a governor.
This is a choice between importing Washington's ways to Florida or putting Florida first. I have a plan, a vision, my values about putting vocational and technical training back into our middle schools and high schools, supporting small businesses, continuing to grow our economy, diversify our economy, and protect the things that make Florida so special, like our natural resources. I have a proven track record of putting Florida first. What's going on in Washington is not what we want more of in Florida. Florida is the model for the nation. I wish Washington operated more like Florida. Sure. What we have right now is the perfect storm. In the aftermath of the hurricane, we're seeing an unusually bad red tide, very similar to the red tide that we saw after the 04-05 hurricane season that lasted 14 months, combined with the algal blooms coming out of Lake Okeechobee. So we've got to do several things. One, fix the dike around Lake Okeechobee, complete the reservoirs around the lake, some of which the state bought the land for 20 years ago, and the Corps of Engineers still hasn't constructed those. We've got to finish those projects, partner with local governments to upgrade sewer and septic systems, and make sure that agriculture is doing its part to reduce their nutrient loads like they have south of the lake, where they've lowered those loadings 70%. The combination of those factors is going to allow us to protect our water supply so that we have enough water to support the growth and the people who are moving here, and clean up our water so that our beaches, our lakes, our rivers, the things that make Florida so special, remain special. You know, I'm so proud of the way Floridians opened up their arms to welcome our neighbors from Puerto Rico who are fleeing the effects of Hurricane Maria. Just like Texans and West Virginians and Ohioans came into Florida to help us restore power, to feed us, to staff our shelters, we have welcomed our friends and neighbors from Puerto Rico throughout Central Florida and throughout the state, incorporating them into jobs, welcoming their children into our schools, and we're going to continue to do that even as we continue to work on the island to rebuild their infrastructure so that those who choose to go back can.
We just wrapped up Florida gubernatorial candidate Adam Putnam's rally here in Lakeland. It was a bit of a brief rally, but basically the point was to basically reinforce his talking points, reinforce his stance on public safety, on the environment, and basically the fact that he knows the state of Florida more than any of the other candidates. That is one of his biggest claims. He fired a shot, of course, at Congressman DeSantis, of course, the endorsement that he received from Trump, but Mr. Putnam basically focused on the fact that he has more endorsements from the folks within Florida, and that matters more to him. He provided some specific answers in terms of the actions he'll take in terms of the algae blooms and concerning the evacuees in Puerto Rico, coming from Puerto Rico, and helping folks to go back there. But stay tuned right here at Florida National News for our continuing coverage of FNN Politics and Power. This is Mellissa Thomas coming to you from Lakeland.